What if the biggest risk in artificial intelligence isn't that it replaces your job? What if the real danger is that it makes you feel smarter than you actually are? Because that's what I see happening right now. Every day, people are getting instant answers, instant summaries, strategies, recommendations instantly. And many of them are becoming more confident while simultaneously becoming less capable of evaluating whether the advice they're giving or receiving is actually good. That's what I call the AI confidence trap. And it's showing up everywhere, from business meetings to negotiations, leadership decisions, and everyday conversations. Today I want to explain why this happens, why intelligent people are particularly vulnerable to it, and how to avoid becoming one of its victims. The problem isn't AI. Let's start with something important. This is not an anti-AI video. I use AI all the time. Many successful professionals use AI. Used correctly, it's one of the most powerful tools we've ever had. The problem isn't the tool. The problem is what happens when we confuse having an answer with having understanding. Those are not the same thing. 20 years ago, if you wanted to make a major business decision, you had to gather information, research, talk to experts, challenge any assumptions you had, and think through the consequences. Today you can type a question into an AI system and receive a polished answer in seconds. The answer looks intelligent, sounds intelligent even. Sometimes it even is intelligent. But there's a dangerous part. Most people stop evaluating the answer because the presentation itself feels convincing. The confidence arrives before the understanding. What's interesting is that this problem doesn't just affect inexperienced people. In many cases, it affects very intelligent professionals even more, because smart people are accustomed to being right. They're accustomed to processing information quickly. They're accustomed to spotting patterns. When AI gives them an answer that sounds reasonable, it often fits neatly into what they already believe. And that's where the trouble starts, because now you're no longer evaluating the information, you're validating your assumptions. The AI isn't necessarily making you smarter. It's helping you become more confident in conclusions you may never have properly challenged. That's a dangerous combination. Confidence without verification, speed without judgment, information without understanding. Imagine two executives preparing for an important meeting. Executive number one asks AI for recommendations and accepts a response. Executive number two asks AI for recommendations and then immediately asks, what are the weaknesses in this advice? What assumptions am I making? What would someone who disagrees with this say? What risks am I overlooking? The first executive uses AI as an answer machine. The second executive uses AI as a thinking partner. One gains information, the other gains perspective. And perspective is where leverage really lives. Here's the part that concerns me the most. Over time, people can lose the habit of thinking deeply. Not because they're lazy, because the answers arrive too quickly. The friction disappears. The struggle disappears. The questioning disappears. And yet, most valuable business decisions happen inside uncertainty. There is no perfect answer. There is no search result. There is no prompt that can tell you exactly what will happen next. That's where judgment matters. That's where leadership matters. That's where experience matters. The people who thrive in the future won't be the people with the most AI tools. They'll be the people who still know how to think when the tools disagree. And here's what most people do miss. The future advantage won't belong to people who can get answers. Everyone can get answers. The advantage will belong to people who can ask better questions. People who know how to challenge assumptions, and people who know how to test ideas. People who know when the answer sounds good but doesn't actually hold up under pressure. Those are communication skills. Those are leadership skills and judgment skills. And AI can't replace that. Not yet, anyway. The AI confidence trap isn't about technology. It's about certainty. The moment you start or you stop questioning an answer because it arrives quickly, the moment you stop testing an idea because it sounds convincing, the moment you mistake information for wisdom, you entered the trap. AI is an incredible tool, but tools don't create judgment. Tools create wisdom. Tools don't create leadership. Those things still belong to the person using them. And in a world where everyone has access to the same answers, the people who ask the questions, or the best questions, may become the most valuable people in the room. If you found this useful, subscribe to the channel. In the next video, I'm going to show you something most professionals never think to do. How AI can predict your weak arguments before you ever say them out loud. And that might be one of the most valuable ways to use AI that nobody's talking about.